Hey guys, it's Will.
I'm Mike.
This is First Watch, the show that's part review, part reaction. What do we have with us here today?
It's UltraMan.
I'm very excited. So this spanned 1966 and 1967. It is a Japanese television show. There's 17 hours worth of episodes, I think, on here. It's like 6 discs. This is a Mill Creek release. This is the Steelbook version. There's also just like a standard clamshell case version. And this is on Movie Spree, which is their streaming service. So we will put a link in the description of this video to the streaming service because I think you can buy individual episodes for relatively little money.
Don't know anything about that,
but I know it comes with a download code if you buy the Blu-ray.
Buy the whole thing.
So you can, well, not a download code, but like a Movie Spree code. So you go to your Movie Spree account, you put in the code, and it's all there. So this is in color. This is a follow-up to Ultra Q. So Ultra Q is a show that's kind of like the Twilight Zone, basically, right? Where you have this team that's like a reporter and a helicopter pilot and like a photographer, and there's like a scientist involved, and they as reporters, they end up being on the scene of all of these insane happenings, right?
Monsters and stuff, yeah.
This is the same world with monsters, but it's more of like a hero show, right? Because you have like a
and it's like one team. It's kind of like the X-Files. It's like one team, and they're sent to investigate.
And they're scientists,
they're all scientists,
so like it's not like why you're not watching it and you're like, why is this reporter the person who's saving the world from this monster? You're like, oh, here are these scientists, and they wear like these. They have a base, right, that they live in, and they wear these outfits. But then when it's go time to go kick some monster's ass, they take off their outfits and they have like fighting suits underneath it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The one thing that was weird to me is like they're dealing with all these monsters on the dangerous situations, but there's like a little boy that goes with them, and it's like helping them. And it's like, why would they let him?
No, but I think my assumption would be, I understand, like,
and they kind of treat him like a grown-up too.
Yeah, like logically speaking, it makes no sense. Yeah. My assumption would be, I think that they wanted these shows to appeal to kids.
Yeah.
Because in Ultra Q, there are a number of episodes where children become involved in the drama. Yeah. So UltraMan, basically the setup is one of the guys on this science team is out in his little spaceship fighting this monster that's coming to Earth to wreak havoc, and an alien life form comes whose purpose it is to defend the universe from these evil monsters and stuff, right? And he bestows his life upon this scientist guy. So the scientist guy gains the ability to go from being himself to UltraMan. UltraMan is like, whatever, 100 feet tall.
Super tall, can fly, can shoot
like laser beams, and he wears this suit. And so, whereas in Ultra Q, there are episodes that are just about like weird metaphysical phenomena, this whole thing is about monsters, basically, right? And like UltraMan fighting monsters. So for the purpose of this review, we're doing the first 3 episodes. And so the pilot is basically starts with what I just described, right, where the guy gets bestowed the Ultraman powers, and then you want to talk about
the monster crashes kind of in a ship in a lake, and it comes out, and they basically it's the scientist versus the monster. And most of this episode is to explain who UltraMan is.
They set up UltraMan,
set that up and stuff.
But the science team has like a boat.
Yeah, they have a boat.
Submarine,
they have a jet sub. They have stuff, and they fight the monster and so forth. The second episode is the one with the crab-looking people. I don't know what they're called.
I like that one. And they're aliens, right?
They're aliens who. I think the story is there's like 3 billion of them or something, and they made themselves real small because their planet got destroyed or whatever. Right. They're trying to find
they need somewhere to live,
and so they froze everybody in like cryosleep or whatever, and like 2 of them or 1 of them came down.
But they shrunk them. They're like tiny.
And they came down to see if this was a place they could live, and they can't. And what their powers is, they can shoot you and kind of like freeze you, like stop you in motion.
And they can be invisible.
And they can be invisible too.
But they look like lobsters.
And they can like replicate themselves, so you don't know which one is the image.
Right. So there's this really psychedelic effect where it's like all these strobing
and
like
you can
aliens
see them all walking. It's like which one's which. And so they have to deal with them, and he becomes UltraMan, and he kind of. I think he kills the one who's on Earth.
But he sends all the rest of them.
But he doesn't like.
But he becomes huge. Remember the one who's on Earth? Yeah.
He doesn't like exterminate the like 3 billion life forms. I think he kind of pushes them away, into space. Right, so they have to find somewhere else to live.
It's an interesting moral thing of like they're not bad guys.
No,
their planet has been destroyed, and they want. Because
the creature he was freezing these people, but he didn't actually kill anybody, right? So that's cool.
And one of the before we get into the 3rd episode, I don't want to forget to mention this because it just occurred to me. The woman who plays the the lead in Ultra Q is also in this as a member of the science team.
That's her.
Yeah. Okay. And so the 3rd episode, which was I don't know, I really liked that one. Now that you're redescribing it, I'm like, oh yeah, that episode was awesome. But I also really like the 3rd one. In the 3rd one. They're out doing like a tourism thing, right? Like with that kid, and the kid discovers.
Well, there's like the legend about like something like 500 years ago in the well. There's like a well, and so he just starts
The kid
climbing
goes down
down
in
a
the
well, and it's
well,
like
yeah.
100-foot.
But it's
deep well.
but the backdrop of the episode is they're like visiting this famous Japanese castle.
Yeah.
And the well is there, and the kid just climbs down the well, and then lo and behold, the monster is awakened.
Because it's something to do with like the electrical power
There's
plant.
a power plant there, and they're
digging there or something.
Yeah,
like
they're
that.
digging down, and they hit it, and it absorbs the power from the plant.
And it kind of gets back, and then its whole thing is it draws energy from electricity, so it starts going to all these different power plants and like destroying them and sucking up all their energy. And the final confrontation is because it's going to the power plant that supplies all the power to Tokyo, and they're like, oh, we can just shut down the power. And it's like, are you fucking insane? We can't shut down the power to Tokyo. And it's like, we just have to stop it.
Ultraman goes. And so one of the things that I really like about this show is it's kind of like the Superman thing of like, Clark Kent disappears and then he shows up again and no one's like, like this guy
always disappears.
Who is Ultraman just kind of always finds a way to vanish in the middle of the conflict and then reappears immediately afterwards and no one's like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. I will say, because we watched Ultra Q as well, and I did like this better than Ultra Q.
It's just so different. I may have liked Ultra Q more just because I love how weird it is.
This is like newer, I think bigger budgeted,
it's in color.
Maybe, in color. And it's more straightforward. It's like, here's a monster, and let's deal with it. But the episodes are short. They're like 25 minutes.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're a fan of Godzilla, of monsters, of fighting, of TV shows, of what else?
The third
Sci-fi,
monster was like almost exactly like Godzilla.
Though, in the first episode, I'm almost positive that thing's roar is Godzilla's roar because the guy, Eiji Tsubaraya, who is the creator, I think, of Ultra Q and Ultraman, who started his own studio, used to work, I think, with Toho, and I might be wrong about this, but I think that he was involved in the creation of Godzilla, of the suit. Now, he didn't write the movie or anything like that, but I think he was involved in the creation of the creature, and so he had permissions to use like costumes and props from the kind of that warehouse, and I think they recycled the Godzilla sound effect.
Could be.
So when I first watched that episode, I was like, wait, what? Because the Godzilla growl roar is like so distinctive, and there's even a documentary about how they made it. It's like a reversed, like something being rubbed across a bass string. It's crazy. So anyway, Ultraman. This is, like I said, a Mill Creek release. This is the Steelbook version, but there's, like I said, 7. So we watched the 3 episodes. There's 17 hours worth of episodes here. So if you're into that kind of thing, you should definitely check this out. My name is Will.
I know, Mike.
And we will see you next time.